Hello, welcome to this video. Today I want to share with you what some of my rituals are when I'm alone, because most of my life I felt pretty lonely and I didn't enjoy the time being with myself at all. But now I have kind of established this way of how I'm able to feel whole and complete and happy alone, and I cherish every moment that I'm alone. I really celebrate every minute that I get to spend alone. I think what is really important when we're alone is that we don't distract ourselves from being alone by indulging in activities like being on the phone. Being on social media specifically, I think, is our biggest distraction from the present moment. And when I was alone, I would just try to not feel lonely by being on my phone. But what that did was it brought me further away from myself, and it basically destroyed my self-trust and my self-worth because I wasn't paying attention to what I'm feeling and what I need and what I want. So now I'm just trying to be really raw and honest with myself when I'm alone, and I try to really have the intention of deepening the connection with myself instead of running away from myself. So right now in this moment I'm in Sicily in Italy, and you can see how beautiful it is. I'm really so blessed and glad to be here. I'm here because friends of mine invited me to come because they're filming a movie here, and because they're working a lot every day, I get to spend a lot of time by myself, which I knew already before I got here. This was completely clear to me that this is gonna be this way. Now I want to share with you what I do while I spend this time alone, but it doesn't have to be spending time alone in a different country. It can also be about spending time alone while you're home. I think what helped me a lot with being fine and being completely okay with being on my own was that I have a history of people suddenly leaving my life, people that I really loved. And the last time that happened, I just promised to myself I would never let another person drive me away from myself ever again, and especially take away the importance of myself. I really promised myself to learn how to give me everything that I need, even if everyone in my life would leave me. And even though this may sound sad, I'm now really able to not distract myself while I'm being alone, but to appreciate my presence, knowing that I will never leave me. I will always have myself. I will never leave. I am always here, and that brings me so much trust and peace. So the first thing I do when I arrive somewhere new, I get into the Airbnb or the hotel room, and I really empathize on bringing my own energy into the space. This is equally important when I'm home. I always make sure my place is as clean and tidy as possible, because that can let the energy in the room flow, and it makes me feel grounded and clear. I believe the way your house, your flat, or your room looks like says a lot about your inner space. Is it clean in there, or is there a lot of work to do? To feel good when you're alone, make sure the space you're in is beautiful and clean. Especially when I'm traveling, this can be really hard because the place usually holds a lot of energies from the people that were in there before. So what I do when I get to a new place, I first put all my own stuff where it needs to be. And then I talk to Spirit and say something like, help me clear the field of this space and let me allow to infuse it with my spirit so my own energy is able to feel home here. I ask all that is not mine to leave this place now, and I invite all my angels and guides from the highest realms to join me and surround me during my time here. I usually have a really hard time being in hotels or Airbnbs for this exact reason, but this one I have in Sicily right now, I actually really enjoy. The energy is perfect and I just feel very good here. I think it is the purest desire of this incarnation of mine to explore the world and see as much as I can. I'm so interested in all the different cultures and languages and mentalities. I wish I could just learn all of it and read all the books and learn all the languages. I think to make the time with yourself as interesting as possible, you have to become curious about life itself and look outside your own bubble. Our problems become so irrelevant when we actually go outside and observe other realities. When you're alone walking around outside, it doesn't matter if you're in another country or not. Try to really observe what is around you. Stop by a store and spend a lot of time in there, which you wouldn't be able to do so freely if you were with a friend. I find the true beauty in the outside world when I'm alone, because I think it's not always necessary to look only inside. Sometimes it is really important to shift our perspective from the inside to the outside. I know that especially in the spiritual community, people talk about going within is the most important, but I found that when you're always within and never without, you miss the human experience. What I usually do when I'm alone is finding a spot that to me seems energetically high. Do you know that feeling when a certain place just feels like you've entered another dimension? I go to these places and introduce myself to the country or city or town I'm in. This is a place I found here in Cefalù, which seemed really special to me. This used to be a wash house in the medieval times. An inscription at the entrance says, "Here flows Cefalino, more salubrious than any other river, purer than silver, colder than snow." According to the legend, the river Cefalino is born from the pain of a nymph, who after killing her unfaithful lover, regretted her actions, drowning the old wash house of Cefalù in tears. The ultimate key for me to feel complete when I'm alone is nature. But not all nature. I only enjoy very specific places. Because, not only beautiful spirits exist on this planet, and I'm really sensitive, but in some places I truly know that I'm never lonely because I connect to my guides there. I sit in nature and I try to not observe with my mind. I'm not trying to give anything a name, like those are rocks, this is the sea, those are waves. I'm trying my best to just look at the shapes and the movements and the colors. When I went to art school, I learned how it is extremely important to forget about the concept of what something looks like and to just focus on the outlines and shadows when drawing something. We give everything a name to label it, to understand it, and we put everything into a box. But that actually makes us forget what life is about. We forget how to be curious because we think that we know everything already. I had this very beautiful conversation with my friend who's also here at the moment, and we were sitting at the beach looking out into the sea. And when we were talking about the hardships of our past, she said to me, if we wouldn't have had a broken home, we would have never left it and searched for what we needed in the world. We would have probably stayed where it felt safe because we would have thought that that's all we needed. But because our home wasn't stable, we were looking for the love we needed outside of home. And now we find love in places other people would never look. For example, others would be here and they would see the sea and the waves. But what we see is different energies. We see the movement of life. We maybe see a feminine spirit. We hear the voice of the water. And this is all because we were forced to look for love in the universe. In nature, I'm able to look at life for what it is, and I'm grateful for my story. Even the worst parts were meant to be. I talk to the sea, and I tell the spirits of the waters everything I'm going through. They are listening and responding. The waves are gently caressing my body, and it feels like they're giving me a gentle hug around my legs. It almost feels sensual. I know that the sea will always be a great lover of mine, holding me and accepting me fully, never being overwhelmed by my energy, but pushing me to reveal more of myself. Let me talk about being alone as in being single. I have to say that this place is so romantic, and sometimes I feel a little desire to have someone with me who I can share this with. Especially when I see couples being at the beach or eating in a beautiful restaurant for a date. You know, I've been single for about 2 years now, almost 3 years, and I've never been single for that long in my adulthood, and sometimes I miss the feeling of being in love and sharing beautiful moments together. But at the same time, I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and the right person hasn't simply arrived yet. Especially in my generation, there are so many surface level relationships that are simply based on sex and maybe getting along well, and these kind of connections are always available, but I'm simply not interested in that. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I just want to go deep with a person and feel safe to reveal all my flaws and spend time with them in a very intentional way where there's no hidden intentions or mysterious behaviors. I just want to be freely myself with someone, and I just haven't met that person yet, which is completely fine. I'm so young and I want to experience so many more things, so I'm patient about it. I can feel nostalgic about being in love, but honestly, I'm so good with myself, and I would rather experience all these romantic sceneries in peace on my own than with the wrong person. Every day I'm learning how to give myself what I need and to listen to my heart and intuition, to not ignore them, to take care of myself and do the things which I know will make me feel good in the long run. I know that at the end of the day, I'm here for myself, no matter where I am and in what situation I am, and that makes me feel complete. My passion for life makes me feel complete. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you a little sense of calm, or maybe even took away some fear of being alone. And just know that you never are alone. You have your guides, you have your angels with you, and most importantly, you have yourself, your higher self. And you can always connect to that. And when you do, you will feel from the bottom of your heart that you're not alone. And when you have accomplished this feeling and this frequency, people who are like-minded, people who understand you, people who have their heart open for you will appear in your life. That's how it was for me. I've been alone most of my life, and now I'm surrounded by beautiful people because I learned how to be happy in solitude. I just want to remind you that I have a workshop online which is about opening up the heart, and I will link this workshop below. It's available at Recordis School, which is a beautiful spiritual school. It's called School of Being. It was founded by Matthias De Stefano, who's one of my main spiritual teachers, apart from myself, of course. So I would be really happy and grateful for you to join that workshop. And yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day and you're enjoying life.